All right.
DJ Metal Craig of Craig's Metal Firm here, and I have the members of Final Siege with me today. Hey, how's it going? I'd like to introduce yourselves and what positions you guys do in the band.
All right. Who's first? I guess I'll go first. I'm George. I play bass.
Well, I'm Rob. I play guitars.
I'm gonna do vocals and guitar.
Please go back in the history of Final Siege and how the band all got started.
So we formed in 2018 with two former members, Amir Boy and Randy Reiser. Amir was on drums and Randy was on guitar. And then I think it was what, August or September, George, we picked you up.
Yeah,
And
August,
basically
September. I said we got in contact for the first time.
yeah, he was the last like one of the original members to join the band at that time, and we found him on Craigslist, so no pun intended.
How did you guys come up with the band name Final Siege?
So that one, that was me, Randy, and Amir. We were basically just shooting out some names, trying to think of something that would be marketable, something that would be cool for people to chant,
You left your phone,
things
right?
like that, but also had some meaning and everything like that. So it was initially the three of us. If I'm not mistaken, we threw out some names, and I believe it was Amir that had said either Siege or it was me, one of the two. And then we kept throwing it back and forth. We really liked that. And then we ended up going up with Final Siege as a collective. So it
No,
fit.
I got an interview.
You want me to take that off?
No, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. Sorry about that, guys. Have a good night. Sorry about that.
Billy, do you want to continue on with the answer?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said, do you want to continue on with the answer? We lost you for a sec there. It says your
Oh,
band was
sorry about that. Yeah, so basically we threw out a few names with Siege in it. I think I threw out Last Siege, and Amir was the one that said, "Oh, I think we should go with Final. Like Final Siege is better." So we voted on the two, and we ended up with that one. And we said, "Okay, Final Siege is definitely the way to go about it."
Who designed the Final Siege band logo?
So that one, that was the four of us, George, Randy, and Amir. We all came up with like different influences, like different, logos and thrash influences or death metal influences. We wanted a nice little combination of both. So we actually got someone off of Fiverr to design it. And pretty much that was the
Oh, it's freezing.
You're still there?
Yeah, I think it's just a bad connection.
Okay. Could be his works Wi-Fi. Joe, you're gonna have to repeat your answer again. We lost you.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, so what I was saying is we got somebody off of Fiverr to design the logo, and we took a bunch of different elements, so a bunch of different bands and influences that were both thrash and death metal, and basically we tried to make it look unique in a way. We didn't want to do the too scratchy or the ones you really can't read.
Yeah, like the black metal. We didn't want a black metal,
Yeah, so
logo. It wouldn't fit anyway.
yeah, so we basically did a combination of both and named a few of our influences like, Slayer, Sepultura, Megadeth, Behemoth, etc., so on and so
Yeah,
forth.
I think Testament was in there as well.
Testament was definitely in there. And then when we got the final product, which is the red and white logo, and then we also have a black and white logo as well, uh, we thought that was it. Like that's perfect. It's legible. It says, it could be thrash metal, it could be death metal, it could be anything, it could be a crossover.
And
So
if
we
you
thought
look at it,
perfect.
it kind of has like it reminds me of like 25 to Life kind of logo. I know they're not they've kind of been canceled or whatever, but like kind of like that hardcore New York feel to it, which I think fits us as well.
Yeah, I can see that.
What are the band's immediate music career goals?
Anybody want to take a crack at that one? Because I know I got my answer.
All right. Well, we definitely want to continue on the path of like touring, making albums, getting bigger and bigger, maybe signing a major metal deal at some point and playing festivals, going to Europe, going to South America, going to Asia, like the whole finding a way to make it happen, to make it work, because I know it's difficult. So it's a balancing act, your day job and stuff, until you can either make the transition or just kind of make it work. But we're trying to make it go as far as we can for as long as we can.
Yeah, pretty much what George said. Like we basically we named a few of those things, like being on tour, wanting to do get signed eventually. We do want to get to the major level. We have accomplished one of our goals. I'm not going to say what it is just yet, but we do have something in the back pocket that that we're waiting to announce. But so far what we've done is made our name for ourselves by playing some of the bigger shows to come through here. Like we've opened up for like Suffocation and
Warbringer,
we have
Heathen,
Nervosa,
Wrath,
we have Nervosa
some big
coming
bands
up too.
and
So
we got Haunt and Savage Master next month,
August 11th.
Direct support for them here in Brooklyn.
Yep.
Rob, do you want to add anything to the question?
Just the goal really is to, like the guy said, play more festivals, get out of state, hit all the regions up,
For sure.
and play internationally.
Who's not with you from the current band lineup today?
I'm sorry, what was that? I missed you on that one.
Who's all not with you from the current band lineup that's not in the interview today?
Oh, Amir, our Amir number 2. He's got the same name as the other guy.
That was actually
our drummer.
Funny.
You got a second drummer named Amir.
Different spelling, mind you. It's really funny, but it's the exact same position and everything. It's kind of hilarious.
How did you come up with the Final Siege album titled Nuclear Doom State?
That's Gil.
Basically what we were doing is we were writing the latest album, and obviously coming up with song titles at first, and we did all that first, and then we thought, okay, what's going to be the actual theme, what's actually going to stick out. And I feel like I think it was maybe the third or fourth song that I named, guys. Was it that, like, when I said Nuclear Doom State, I was like, that actually has a nice, pretty good sound,
and I think it captures the theme of most of the songs together. If you look at it as a collective, it seemed like the perfect title.
Yeah, easy pick.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, I jammed the Nuclear Doom State album, a couple of the tracks, different tracks from it on air, and the album's absolutely sick and awesome.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you.
The next one's for whoever can answer. Who designed the Nuclear Doom State album art?
So that one was one of my good friends, Alex Haber. He runs Heavy New York here, which is also like an online webzine. And he does interviews, both like this, and he also does like editorials and YouTube. So he's a phenomenal artist, and he's also a brand new tattoo artist now as well.
Tattoo artist and a musician. He plays kind of piano versions of popular metal, well, not popular, but metal songs like Children of Bodom or Killswitch Engage, or stuff that he likes. He'll do like a piano performance of it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so basically he came up with everything. And we talked with him about our themes and everything like that. And that man nailed every single piece of art that we have, which is the album art, the singles. It's insane. He did a phenomenal job.
What's funny is before we even did the first album, I'd always liked Behemoth's The Satanist album, like that image, and it's kind of distorted. And I thought like, oh, Alex would, we definitely need to get him at some point because he could do something like this, where it's like there's an image, but it's kind of distorted in a way.
You guys still there? Just checking.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm still here.
Okay. Just so you guys know, I'm actually a fan of Behemoth as well. I saw them back in 2018 here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, with Creator and one other band, I believe it was. I don't remember the other
Oh,
band
sick.
with them. They have an absolutely amazing live show.
Yeah, that's definitely what we strive. We're striving to do to work. Like the whole, maybe not to that level, but like the image, the presentation, the whole show. Like that would be the ideal point to get to, where it's not just a bunch of guys just playing music on stage, but there's a visual element as well. So there's definitely a big influence on on what we're trying to do.
Also, when George mentioned Behemoth and the album The Satanist, I actually got into Behemoth with Dos Kia Cultus.
Oh wow!
Oh, sick.
I got in at Demigod. I heard Demigod at Tower Records. It was like, when they had the listening stations. I was like, oh, let me check this out. I heard Demigod, and I heard Strapping Young Lad's Alien, and I was like, oh, I'm walking out with these today. This is fucking awesome. And that to
Yeah.
me is still my favorite. I like the ones after, but that's probably my favorite.
Yeah. I feel like Rob, you and I got into them at around the same time, right? Wasn't it Demigod as well? That was.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one. That was the one that had Slave Shall Serve.
Slave
Or am I
Shall
thinking of the
Serve.
wrong?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah,
And
I thought that
Conquer
was
All that has that Anthrax riff.
Craig, don't
Yeah.
Craig, don't be surprised if there's some elements on album 3 from Behemoth. I'm just saying. Just saying, you never know.
All right, guys, that's cool. And also one other thing I should let you know is I've actually interviewed aborted for Century Media. I've done interviews for Nuclear Blast Records. I have some of the big labels for my show.
Nice.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Oh yeah.
I've been doing this
Abort
11
is a fucking
years.
sick band. Sure.
I've been doing this radio gig for 11 years, you guys.
Well, thank you for having us on your show.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
Definitely
thank
honored.
you. Go ahead, whoever was going to talk there.
What was it? What was it? Sorry, we lost. So what was the question?
I said, whoever was going to talk there when I was talking, go ahead and finish what you had to say. The audio is cutting in and out a bit in places.
Oh, we're good. Sorry.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to get Gil to talk about the next one, which is the favorite song line that you guys did off the Nuclear Doomsday album, which was, what were the themes and concepts behind the song titled Primordial Combat?
Oh, yeah. So Rob wrote that whole song on guitar, and I was just blown away. Like when he
Yeah, for
presented it
sure.
to us. And basically I wanted it to have like death metal influences. Like I wanted to have like a death metal theme. And funny enough, I also like anime. And I was watching this show called Baki, which I don't know if you've ever heard of it or watch anime or anything like that, but it's literally about like fighting and like martial arts and all that. And it's like a pretty like brutal
Yeah, this is a
fucking
big
concept.
there's a big tournament that's sponsored by
Yeah.
corporations.
So basically, one of the in season 2 or 3, I think it was season 2 or 3, they discovered like this Neanderthal that that they froze and basically put him part of the tournament to go against like some of the strongest like competitors and everything like that. But what really stuck out to me was like the actual narrator was saying like, this guy was from a different time that they hunted for their food with their bare hands. They did everything um basically to the most raw, point of being an animal at that, and one of the things that he highlighted was like, nowadays, like everybody's like a little softer, or everything's a little too convenient. And I was like, that's a great theme. I think that would be awesome to like write about. It's like that very, primal instinct that we used to have as human beings, like well before technology, well before any type of like established religion or governments or jobs or anything like that. I'm talking about just basically surviving. And I thought that was a pretty like insane concept.
Funny thing you guys mentioned anime. I'm a video game fanatic, and I seen one anime that was sick and awesome that I liked called Ninja Scroll.
Oh,
Oh,
that's my
sick.
favorite movie of all time as far as anime goes. I own it. That's fucking great.
That's awesome.
What are the plans for Final Siege's future? Is there plans for a new album or bigger tours?
Um, Personally, yeah, definitely. Like, we're just gonna keep growing from here. I feel like we all are on the same page. Once we release this album together, because this is Rob and Amir's first album with us, and I couldn't be more proud of what we were able to do, especially in such a short span. It literally took about a
Yeah, it's
year
a
and
couple.
some
Yeah,
months. So,
but we
basically,
had all the songs down in a few months. It was just a matter of recording, right?
right, right. So basically, now we have a lot of goals and a lot of newer ideas. And now that we've meshed well for the year, and I know Rob can agree with me, like we started like writing guitar parts together and everything like that. So that is actually going to yeah, I really truly think we're gonna get to those, aspirations of like being a touring professional band. Am I right, Rob?
Absolutely. Definitely.
Yeah.
More riffs, more music coming very soon, guys.
Yep.
This next one might get you all involved a little bit in the interview. Who are the band's musical influences?
George, you can go first. I'll
All
give you
right.
that one.
So I've been listening to metal for a long, long time, since like the 80s. So I started like back with like, Priest and Def Leppard, Iron Maiden. So probably out of those, like Priest and Maiden for sure. And then I started getting into thrash, and probably the biggest of the like originally when I first got into thrash was probably Anthrax and Suicidal Tendencies, because they were complete, like all the thrash guys looked kind of the same, and Suicidal and Anthrax looked like me. It was like, oh, those look like guys from the neighborhood that skate and fucking whatever, they live in the hood. So I just connected to that, to like their songs and their, so there's a little bit of like that kind of punk thrash crossover thing for me. And then later on, I started getting into like Amon Amarth, Lamb of God, that kind of stuff, like in the '90s. And then now I still like all that stuff, Behemoth, but I'm more into like like gone back to like Bolt Thrower and Immolation and like those kind of like Suffocation, like those early like uh, death metal bands, along with Emperor and some of the black metal like I got into before. And so I'm a little all over the place, but I kind of like the rawer, grittier, like Venom inspired, Venom, Nunslaughter, Bolt Thrower, and then Cannibal Corpse. And I definitely still like Lamb of God and those kind of bands too. But I'm more on the less polished end. So like I like the more old school approach. Let's fucking record. Let's leave the mistakes in there. Let's get that feeling, like that freaking punk rock energy in the music. That's kind of what I look for personally.
Yeah, for me, I got really inspired as of late with thrash music. I didn't really grow up listening to it very much. I kind of started with like hardcore music, metalcore, deathcore, but I've always loved death metal, black metal. I love listening to older death metal, like Morbid Angel. I was listening to like a lot of earlier thrash, like from Sodom, Creator,
Yeah,
like they
Sodom is fucking great.
Testament. They've also mentioned before. I love those bands. It helps a lot with the influence and the just trying to revive that old sound and make it new.
Yeah, for me, pretty much what both of my bandmates said. For me, it's Slayer. You know, Slayer was one of the very first thrash bands I ever got into. Funny enough, because of Grand Theft Auto Vice City, because of that whole radio station, which was great. But like
That was a great
13-year-old
radio
me,
station.
13, 14-year-old me was like listening to Slayer. You know, but them, Sepultura, Testament, Suicidal Tendencies, Behemoth, Cannibal Corpse, and more recently, you know, from this side of the century is Power Trip. Loved that fucking band. It broke my heart when you know, Riley unfortunately died, but I'd always like envisioned touring with them, hanging out with them, like shooting the shit with them, and it was just insane when he passed in 2020. But honestly, them and who else is like a huge Lamb of God is also another huge influence as well, just like George was saying. So yeah, I could go on and on, but yeah, pretty much that.
Hey guys, we got about 9.5 minutes left in this interview, so I'm going to get to the final question of the interview. What new band news do you have on the Final Siege front, and then anything we might have missed in this interview?
So basically we like I said, we do have something in our back pocket that unfortunately I can't say what it is just yet, but it is one of our goals. We did tend to achieve one of them yet. Um, but right now we do have some few shows coming up. Like we said before, we are about to play with Nervosa on October 4th with Lich King and also Hatred and Plague Master. And then we also have Savage Master and Haunt, which is going to be August 11th. Right now, we are wrapping up a music video for Tax to Death. It's going to be one of two, which should be premiering soon. And we're currently working on the video for Nuclear Doomsday as well. So definitely keep your eye out for that.
Cool, you guys, that's going to lead us with the station IDs now. I'm going to use Rob as the example in this. Hey, this is Rob of Final Siege, and you're listening to Mangled Music Radio, and the other two guys are going to follow up afterwards whenever you guys are ready.
Right.
Rob, you there?
Yeah. What's my line? Sorry.
Hey, this is Rob of Final Siege, and you're listening to Mangled Music Radio, and Gil and George are going to follow up afterwards.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Hey, this is Rob from Final Siege. You're listening to Metal Mangled Radio.
Mangled Music Radio.
Mangled Music Radio. So let me start that again.
Okay.
Hey, this is Rob from Final Siege. You're listening to Mangled Music Radio.
Hey, this is Gil from Final Siege. You're listening to Mangled Music Radio.
Hey, this is George from Final Siege. You're listening to Mangled Music Radio.
And the second one's for Craig's Metal Storm, the same station ID format.
So,
Rob, do you want to start?
Craig's Metal Storm.
Yep.
Hey, this is Rob from Final Siege. You're listening to Craig's. Sorry, what was it?
Craig's Metal Storm.
Hey, this is Rob from Final Siege. You're listening to Craig's Metal Storm.
Hey, this is Gil from Final Siege. You're listening to Craig's Metal Storm.
Hey, this is George from Final Siege. You're listening to Craig's Metal Storm.
Cool. Thank you guys very much for your time. Thank you very much for the interview.
Dude, thank you so much, Greg. Really
We
appreciate it. Thank you, man.
We'll be looking out for it.
Final
Thank
Siege.
You guys have yourselves a good time for the rest of your day. All right. Talk to
Thank
you.
you.
Too.